Hey, good morning. Yosef here. This morning I thought I would clarify for you guys the difference between TI or FI and then going to TE or FE. Now, somebody might think, like, what's the big deal? You use feelings or thinking as judgment. What's the difference if it's extrovert, introverted? It actually makes a humongous difference. And I'm going to give a classic example of the two, where it's the feelings is the second function, and we'll see how it plays out. So you have an ENFP. They lead with this, like, kind of like, you look at their faces, they kind of have like this, like, exploring face, intuitively exploring the world. I'm an ENFP. And then they use their FI as a way to gauge what they should do, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, trying to understand their observations. They use an inner feeling function. And when they kind of, put their mind on what makes sense, like, that doesn't feel right, they believe that with confidence. That is, like, it's resolute, man. We're not changing that. Like, I know for a fact that NE I had is true based on my feelings, and I'm going to act on it. I'm going to tell people because my FI says it's true. Now you take the INFJs. The INFJs lead with this inner intuition, almost like everything they're doing, they're meant to be doing. Not in like a sensory way, like they're so present doing it, but there's like an energy that they're leading with the NI, that they are mind, body, spirit supposed to be doing exactly what they're doing. But here's the thing. They're FE. What that means is that they can kind of go into a room and they will kind of explore with their feelings more. I explore more with my intuition. They make decisions more with intuition. They explore more with their feelings. So they'll start exploring into everybody's feelings in the room. They could leave the room a half hour later and they could feel like shit. They could feel depressed because they just took on all these feelings that they didn't know whose was whose. Because when you're exploring, you don't have that same, like, embodiment and the same, ability to just kind of perceive things very rationally. You're trying to explore, trying to understand, just like my intuition. My intuition could be all over the place because it's NE. So they could all of a sudden start feeling terrible, and they're like, what's going on? And then they'll be like, this is not me feeling terrible. I'm taking on the feelings of him or her. And that can make being an FE very challenging. Now, me, I'm T. Oh, one more thing. So the FE might very well try and fix other people's problems, other people's negative feelings, because they want to fix their own, because they're taking on, through their FE, other people's feelings. So now if they fix that person's feelings, they're going to end up fixing their own, which is very counterintuitive, because they're basically, the more they try and fix that person's feelings, the more they're validating that person's feelings is their own. So really the step would be to kind of make some sort of cutoff and be like, all right, I'm going to go out of the room right now, and I'm going to these are not my feelings. These are however you deal with it, whatever therapy you're in, whatever, structures you use. But almost to notice and be aware of the idea that what's going on is you're taking on their feelings, as opposed to reinforcing it by trying to fix it. Okay. Me being a TE is very similar. I'll be in a room where all these different ideas. It'll be very hard for me, since I'm exploring the thinking ideas. I kind of like don't have that resolution, that sense of like my own thinking ideas clear to me. So I can start taking on all these other ideas kind of. And later I'll be like, do I really believe that? No, I don't believe that. But at the time, in my exploring process of the thinking and of the opinions of others, I don't have that ability to kind of be like, whoa, that's how I think, that's how I feel. So if I have an opinion from the past, I might need to change someone else's opinion, because I'm taking on this person's opinion. He can't think the wrong thing. He's got to think the right thing. So if I change him, then he'll be thinking the right thing, and vicariously I'll be thinking the right thing. So it's the same type of idea. When you're exploring in the thinking or the feeling in an extroverted way, it makes it very challenging to kind of maintain your own feelings or thinking, and therefore could very well lead to trying to change the other person's either thinking or feelings, depending on if you're, in this case, an INFJ or an ENFP. I know this is a little bit confusing, but one step at a time.